Good morning and welcome to Trekking with Turtle. Today we are uh, in the forest in Oregon is where we're at. And we're going to head up towards the Tamolitch Blue Pool or Blue Lake actually. It's about 2.5 miles up the trail basically to find this lake. But we're going to go and seek it out. I've been up here before, so I already understand how to get there and what to do. I'm probably going to continue on up the trail once I get to Blue Lake as well. Um, so again, thank you for joining me with on Trekking with Turtle. Let's get on the trail. Let's go find the Blue Lake. There are bathrooms up here. We have a couple of porta potties. We have a regular bathroom. We got a trash can. This is for day use only, but there's no feet up here. You got to go up the road a little bit to find the main trail. It's not really that far up. Basically a little bit here on the right. If you go left, that goes to a different part of the trail. I don't know exactly where it goes, but it's my understanding that the bridge is out going that direction. So it's about 2.25, 2.5 miles to get to the Blue Pool. We are on the Mckenzie River Trail number 3507. It's a relatively easy hike, but it's always recommended to have good shoes when you're on this trail because there are some rocky areas. You don't certainly want to injure your foot while you're on this trail. I tried to get out here pretty early this morning just because of the amount of people that usually show up later on. And also, too, the heat factor today is supposed to be like 96 degrees. So the earlier the better, makes it a little bit more cool. But again, it's not really that hard of a hike to get to the Blue Pool. It is the Tamolitch Blue Pool, Tamolitch, off the Mckenzie Highway 126, about 11 miles off of 20 going west. Pretty easy to get here. Pretty much a lot of parking available along the side of the road. Last time I was here, I got here and there were only a handful of people. And by the time I got back, it was solid packed along the road. So it's a pretty popular area to come to. So going down along this trail, there's a few sites. Pretty much you'll encounter the Mckenzie River, and then you'll also encounter this forest that is full of moss, lots of trees, bits and pieces of this, that, and the other. There's a really good shot of the river down there. I believe this is also part of the Mckenzie recreational area. I think there's quite a few miles that you can travel along this trail. I don't know if camping is available, or I think you can backpack, but I'm not sure of the sites where you can actually pitch a tent if you wanted to. Currently it is pretty cool out here temperature wise. Again, I got an early start. There's a couple of bridges along the way, but lots of roots and rock on the trail. I would not recommend wearing sandals, but to each his own. But because it does get pretty warm out here, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated, especially today. It's supposed to be 96 degrees around here today. The sun is basically just starting to peek over the trees and the mountains. So this is a good time to go. And already we've kind of come up and met the Mckenzie River. Looks a little bit lower than the last time I was here, but I would imagine it is certainly cold out there. I feel like I'm in the enchanted forest right now. I'd probably say that about a lot of the trails that I've been on here, out here in Oregon. It just feels something like out of a fairy tale. I almost expect Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to pop up somewhere. Looks like they were trying to do a little bit of mitigation in here. I don't know what the purpose is, other than for fire, but a lot of down trees and through here blocking the river. Those of you that know will know. Looks like it's an old burnt out tree right into here. Technically you could probably walk right underneath it if you were small enough. I'm not willing to squat down, try to climb underneath there, but it's kind of cool looking though. Coming up on another man-made bridge. Looks pretty cool, especially being out here. I imagine the seven dwarves crossing that bridge singing their hi-ho song. But overall, it's a very sturdy bridge. Good photo opportunity. I almost feel like a lot of couples have come up here to do their engagement photos. There's a few areas along the way you can kind of ditch off the main trail and kind of go get some views of the river. I'd almost be willing to bet you that water is ice cold. So later on today, when it gets up to 96, it'll be a great place to take a dip in. I guess there's a place down here if you wanted to dip down and go right over to the river. There's a little place you can kind of picnic. All in all, this is pretty much kind of a lollygag trail. There really is no rush to be anywhere. Extremely peaceful out here right now. There's a good little site over here off to the right of the trail. If I kind of pan up a little bit, it just kind of pans up with the tall trees. There's a rock, I don't know if it's a rock wall or just a canyon, but yeah, it's yeah, a lot of rock, so I guess you would call it a rock wall. I don't think it's something that I would want to go climb. Here comes a better view. Right where the sun is peeking over. I've only been a little more than a half a mile. Like I said, it's 2.25 miles to the Blue Pool. There's an overlook when you get there. And if you know how to get down and brave enough to get down there, you can get all the way down to the water's level and, you know, get a closer view. For those that are a little afraid of heights, you may just want to kind of stay up at the top. This is one of the reasons why I always recommend wearing a good pair of shoes while you're hiking, because it gets pretty technical and you don't need to ruin your feet and have, you know, several miles or however far you need to go to have to walk on that your foot that's tore up. Well, we've climbed a little higher above the Mckenzie River, and you can see just how much water is actually kind of rushing down there. I'm not sure how fast it's going, but I would imagine, you know, it could be a little rough in areas. And every once in a while in the sunlight, if you catch this, sometimes you can see some unusual spider webs on some of these trees and actually get the full effect of it with the sunlight. So right now we're currently 1 mile away to the Blue Pool, Blue Lake. I think it's referred to both the Blue Pool and the Blue Lake. But I would imagine there's an official name for it, because technically it's not a lake because it feeds into the river. Well, we're 1.75 miles in, so we only have a half a mile to go to get to the pool. And like I said, every once in a while there's little offshoots that you can take, and a little scenic route, so to speak, to see other views, because it does follow the river. So we have to do a little slide over this log. And this is your first view of the Blue Lake, or the Blue Pool. It is crystal clear. It is blue. And yeah, if you look straight across over there, the rock wall over there, there's an area where you can actually come down if you know where to go, but it's almost vertical. I'm afraid of heights, but I've done it once, and Didn't seem to be too much of an issue as long as you really take your time. But I'm going to look for other ways to actually get down there. There might be another way, an easier way. But yeah, we're just going to go find out and we'll get a little closer. And voila, there you have it. The infamous Blue Pool. A couple of these rocks. There appear to be no alternate routes to kind of get down to the bottom. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to kind of scale this area, this is just flat out vertical. But again, it does feed into the Mckenzie River. That little flat landing over there is basically where you can kind of come down from the trees and get there, as long as you take your time. But there is no apparent easy route to get down there. See if I can take you up on the other side and get another overview.
Seriously, this is a pond guy. But I would know because I have a pond.
So there is another way to get down there. There's no easy route to take. You kind of have to go across a bunch of boulders in order to get even to close to that one entryway. And again, that one entryway is just so incredibly steep that it's not sometimes not a comfortable way to get down. So there is another way up and over through here. Try and remember how we got there last time, but you have to go bouldering in order to literally find like blue tape. There's blue tape that is or not tape, but ribbon, like blue ribbon, kind of giving you an idea of how to get to maneuver through to get over to the other side. And I may have actually passed it a little bit because that appears to be how you go to get across. In fact, I'm almost positive. Yeah, definitely not that route. We're gonna go backtrack a little bit. Here we go around this area. Now, if you're a little weak in the knees, don't watch this part. But if I remember correctly, there's pieces of blue ribbon that are attached to the trees. And I thought I kind of went this way last time. All right, I'm gonna find out how to get over there and then I'll resume. All right, so I have managed to find the access route with the blue tape, but there's a lot of bouldering to get toward the other side. There's the blue tape I was talking about. It's not a simple task, but with a little bit of patience, you can navigate. All right, so this is the way, this is the way I came last time. Down and up, down and up. And for now, I'm going to put away the camera until I get toward the other side. But that is the direction I am trying to head in. This is the other side, kind of looking down. There's a couple of people down at the bottom that have made it there. This is not the way down, but it is the route near to where you need to go down and take the incline. I'm going to head back up. I'm going to get back on the main path that takes us over there. Again, there's a lot of bouldering, a lot of lava rock. There's a lot of tree root. But again, if you take your time, you will get there. Sorry for the camera angle. All right. We're gonna head down this way and that's where the connecting trail will be. Well, after a little bit of hunting, I have once again found the top of the area that goes down towards the Blue Lake. It's literally about 200 feet down. It's not a walk in the park, but again, with a little bit of patience, you can get down there. So I am going to put my camera down, and I'm going to descend towards Blue Lake. Well, I have officially made it down to the Blue Hole. That's the other side for the overlook. But as you come over here, there's a little outing. If you can come along the shoreline a little bit, it gets you right up next to the pool. You could probably sit here for hours, meditate, take in the scenery, get in the water. But I understand the water is ice cold. But on a day like today, it's probably a refreshing experience. A lot more people have come down And yeah, we made it to the bottom. That's where we have to go back up when we're finished. There's a gentleman up there you can see. That's the other side, but there is no easy route to get down here. The only route is where those people are standing. They're basically going 200 feet up. That's the only way to accomplish that. So with a little bit of patience and the birds that are around here that don't seem to be bothered, with a little bit of patience coming down there and a little bit of handhold on the rocks, you can make it down to. I think I'm going to try and take some of my pack off and my shoes off and take a dip in the, see if I can take a dip in the water. So the only things around here that don't seem to be bothered by the water are the birds. And I'll tell you what, I put my feet in here, and I'll tell you what, it is ice cold. It is so ice cold that it's bone chilling. Oh. So I think I'll just sit here and let my feet dry out. There's no way that I'm getting in that thing full-bodied. No way in heck. If it was 130 degrees out here, that might be a different story. But it is ice, ice cold, baby. As Vanilla Ice would say, if you remember, any of you remember him, ice, ice, baby. Here you go. There's no ice in here, but it is ice cold. And again, it just feeds right into the Mckenzie River. Getting over to the side I'm on, a little challenging. A lot of other people are just kind of staying over on that side. But again, if you just kind of look up on the rim, I mean, that's pretty much how you have to traverse basically in order to get back over to the main trail. Well, when you're looking around, you never know what you'll find. Over here, I found a slug. I don't think I've ever seen one this big before, but he's quite large. I don't think he's going to attack me like the killer rabbit, but there he is, or she. I don't know. Don't know what it's dragging there, unless it's just got a hold of some dirt. But yeah, it's going to be some good eating for some animal, I guess. So this is the incline we have to take back up in order to get back to the main trail and cross over. Like I said, it's about 200 feet, but it should be a little easier to go up than it is to come down. Oh, we made it back up to the other side. We're back up the incline. Normally I would go that direction to get back over to the main trail, but there's a trail up here. I'm interested to kind of see where it goes, if it goes anywhere. It's a very steep incline without any handles anywhere. And again, I don't know where it goes. Maybe it connects back to the trail. But since I'm not familiar with it, probably not going to mess with it. There is a tree. Looks like it had some, looks like termites have been on that tree. Had some pretty big holes for the termites. Anyway, there's a lot of people here today. Sorry, I'm just blowing on the camera, a little bit of a dust on there. A lot of people here today, more than I would have expected. But we're going to make it back to where we need to be, get on the main trail, go towards Sahali Falls, and See what else we can find. Getting back to where you came from can also be a little bit tricky because there's not one single path. There are multiple paths along the way, and I think last time I got a little turned around and I spent a little more time out here trying to find out where to get back. But today I'm just trying to do a different method, seeing where everybody else is going, following the blue ribbon. Again, there's a lot of bouldering in through here, a lot of tree roots. So if you're a little weak in the knees, it might be a little more challenging than what you would have expected. From a height standpoint, very challenging for me because, let me see if I can get down here and then I can explain. I am afraid of heights, but I don't know why I feel confident going down that descent. Doesn't make it any easier. It looks like I made it back by the trail without getting turned around this time. I still have to navigate over these rocks. I said rocks, but they're boulders. And this should get me directly back to the trail from whence I came. All right. Looks like I have successfully navigated back towards the trail. So I'm going to continue on up the trail towards Sahali Falls. There we go. I believe here is the main trail. All right. We've officially accomplished getting to the Blue Pool. The Tamolitch Blue Pool. Tomalitch. So, if you're ever up this direction, type that in. It'll take you exactly where you need to go. This section I'm on right now I've not traversed before because I'm going a little farther than the Blue Pool. But I'm interested to see what it has to offer. Get a few more miles in before I need to turn around and head back. It's officially 11 o'clock in the morning. I started around 9. Been out there for 2 hours. Ugh. A little dust in my eye from that climb. That doesn't help with contacts. Anyway, out here enjoying the day. Hope you're enjoying what you see. Hopefully at some point you might be able to make it out this way. It looks like not many people have been past Blue Pool because Spider webs are crossing the trail. I don't see many shoe prints. So as I wrap things up here, there is one final feature that I haven't shown you yet, and I call it the Cairn tree, C-A-I-R-N. It is literally this big, huge tree that has been uprooted. But people over the years, it appears, they have brought rocks and kind of stacked them like cairns, just right along the trail. It's a pretty cool thing to kind of witness. And there are a lot of rocks up here, and I would imagine there's a lot of stories behind the rocks. But it's a cool thing. Kind of wraps around this tree here. It goes all the way to the front, and then people have just kind of randomly put stuff there. Pretty cool to look at. Anyway, I'm about to wrap things up here on the trail. I hope you enjoyed going with me to the Blue Pool of Tamolitch, Tamolitch, and so I appreciate you coming along on my journey. I hope you enjoyed it. Click the like button if you want. Other than that, just enjoy my videos, and we'll see you in the next adventure.